What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe. And if you follow this comment, this will take you to the video I did yesterday on the Feast of Blades. After a comment, I kind of realized I did a pretty bad job specifying the creation of the Feast of Blades. And what I mean by that is, I don't want any confusion regarding Rogel Dorn's disappearance and him still creating the Feast of Blades. Rogel Dorn did in fact create the event that is the Feast of Blades. And in fact, the Feast of Blades have been around for 8,100 and some years. Every single victor of the Feast of Blades must host the Feast of Blades within 100 years, but I didn't really specify that sometimes that's not always the case. In the grim darkness of the far future, and with all the chaos that happens at all times, sometimes it takes more than 100 years for the next event to happen. There have been exactly 816 Feasts of Blades, but what I'm getting at is that Rogel Dorn wasn't around for 2,000 years before he disappeared. For a time reference, the events at the Siege of Terra and the Horus Heresy ended roughly in 014 M31. The events of the Iron Cage that would later inspire the creation of the Feast of Blades took place sometime in the early 31st millennium. Although we don't have a specific date, we'll say that it happened not long after the Siege of Terra. And lastly, again for a time reference, Rogel Dorn disappeared sometime in the late 31st millennium. So sometime between the Iron Cage in the early 31st millennium and his disappearance in the late 31st millennium, the Feast of Blades were created. So now, 10,000 years later, since the Emperor was interred on the Golden Throne, the Feast of Blades should be on its 817th event. And in between some of these events, there may have been more than 100 years before the next Feast of Blades took place. It is not a requirement for it to happen within 100 years, but it is heavily suggested, or more accurately, supposed to. I was going to do another video before this, but I really wanted to clear this up, and I hope that this information helps. Sorry again, guys, for not being more specific, but nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you guys want me to talk about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.